So we've done the thumb, we've done the anchor, and we've done the acoustic anchor on the fingerboard. Now, what I wanted to show you quickly was, now this is a slightly more advanced technique, but really in the beginning you can kind of lean into this if you like, and it's a way to start with another new technique that's kind of going around. Guys like Matt Garrison, Gary Willis, and Todd Johnson are all using what's called a floating thumb technique. Now, a floating thumb technique is we're no longer anchoring our thumb to the pickup. Now, this requires that you do use the ramp. As Claude liked to say, we're ramping it up. So what we're doing here is we're actually taking the finger, we're extending the fingerboard in a way. It's like kind of like playing on the upright bass where you actually play on the fingerboard. We're actually playing on a simulated piece of the fingerboard underneath the strings. And it follows the same arch of the strings. So it's all equal all the way across. So there's no deep pockets. Now, a ramp, you can get a ramp made by anybody who has a wood shop. They're very easy. It's double-sided tape. It just sticks under the strings. You find a good spot for it along the pickup or wherever you like to put it. And now, what this helps to do is, again, I have my bass in the right position, 1 o'clock, arm at 12. My thumb no longer anchors on the pickup. What I can do is I can actually slide my thumb and move my thumb. I move the whole mechanism as I play. So if I did that same exercise, the first exercise I did where I went the string crossing, I have my thumb actually kind of surrounding the string, right? I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So what you can see is that my gap has changed. The distance that I was traveling from my strike to my thumb has gotten a whole lot smaller. Now what this does is it does a twofold thing. It kind of controls the amount of pressure I have to put on the string, and also the depth is controlled by the ramp, and my attack is very controlled, and it can be faster. If I'm playing in a closed position like this, I don't have to draw my fingers back as far to get a faster note. Now with this position, now once you master the anchored thumb and the thumb technique, I recommend you try this if you down the road. And what you do is, again, you're just moving your thumb, and what happens is that your whole mechanism moves from point to point. Now this also helps you if you are playing a multiple string instrument, if you are playing a 6-string bass, if you are playing a 5-string bass, a 7, 9, 11, whatever, how many strings you might have, a 2-string, doesn't matter. This will also help to control the overtones and the ringing of the strings. What I like to do for this is, if you can see my hand right here, my closed position, so I would do 8 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm still keeping my fingers rolled up. Now at this point, I'm still using the basic technique that I used over here. I'm just moving it onto my ramp with this position. Now, as I do my 8 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can see that my distance traveled from the string to my thumb is very close. I'm not traveling this huge distance anymore, where I have a lot of time to make mistakes. Here it's kind of closed. So what happens is, when I decide that I want to go to the next string, I move my whole mechanism up, and I encapsulate the next string between my fingers. So now my thumb is actually resting in between the space of the 2 strings. I'm almost pressing back with my nail against the back of the string. Now, that is a unique technique to me, but I've had several students that have liked this technique. A lot of guys will actually keep their thumb on the outside of the string, so it's more like this. For me, I like it on the inside. Then it kind of remains very similar all the way across. And I just moved the technique. I moved the technique and the mechanism. This is actually really good. If you have tendonitis, if you picked up the bass and you're having hand problems, this normally is considered a very easy way to play the instrument without developing any more hand problems, because the wrist tends to stay straight, as opposed to being like this, where you're already twisting your tendons. You're already creating problems. You want to make sure that those fingers are stretched, the tendons are good. You're not, angling things into weird positions. But with this, we can move the whole mechanism with the wrist straight, and we get a clean, easy tone on each one.